In the most accursed regions of the East and the West, two ghettos filled the world with the fallout of their disbelief. In the East, the persecution of the Jews continued on as it did earlier in the century. With much the same ardor as their ancestors, the police and the Stasi harassed the Jews to no end. One particular interaction between the people of faith and of disbelief generated an outrage that would shake the very foundations of the Yalta world. A group of haughty Marxists assaulted and detained a pair of Jews going about their day. During the confrontation, one man was placed into custody almost immediately, without cause, and the other sought refuge in the nearby synagogue. He was quickly given up by an informant and was disappeared. One of the two prisoners later appeared in an underground snuff film produced by the same officers who arrested him, where he was tortured and forced to engage in sodomy. He was later secretly executed. In response to the incident, which would become known as the October 22nd affair, was a galvanizing force behind the formation of the first Sicarii groups. Their chief concerns were murdering informants and facilitating escape to the West, where they could legally organize and prepare to strike back. Reconstituting in the West, the Jews organized their first legal organization, the Yiddish Bund. Its aims were to defend the Jews through force or legal means in the East and West respectively. It attracted a sizable following and began operations almost immediately. Protesting in large numbers, the Jews voiced their dissatisfaction with the regime, until tragedy struck again. A Jewish refugee and Bund member was forcibly repatriated and publicly executed.
Velo tachos einecha, nefesh benefesh, ayin beayin, shein beshein, yad beyad, regel beragel.
Like the tears rolling off the face, the sword would fall upon the necks of those responsible.
Help me with a knife!
With its sudden rise in popularity and notoriety, the Israeli embassy contacted the Bund and arranged a meeting to discuss future cooperation and coordination. Deliberations centered around facilitating migration from the east and obtaining Israeli citizenship. Though the meeting was ultimately fruitless, the Israeli embassy did acknowledge the Bund and secretly promised to support it. The Zoll also was interested in cooperation with the Jews. Approached by agents personally, the Jews were grateful for such a benefactor. Both the Zoll and the embassy cooperated in retaliating against anti-Semitism in the West, torturing a Jew slayer to death in the embassy. With an agent delivering the final blow himself, the partnership was all but sealed in blood on the spot. In a secret meeting between the Bund and the Zoll off the record promised to employ the Bund for operations against the East. The same agent later collected Bund troops and rallied them to make an assault across the border. They were ushered into his government-marked bus and driven to the bank, where a huge sum was suspiciously available for immediate transfer. Elated at the opportunity to finally acquire competitive hardware, the Bund overlooked this moment and prepared themselves. The assault went as planned. By the end of that afternoon, hot brass and warm bodies lay on the cold pavement like fruits at a market. At a meeting of the Bund following the attack, a surprise raid by the police broke up the meeting. Arrested, booked, and thrown out of the embassy. Confused, the Bund received a shocking message from the embassy staff. The embassy terminated its partnership with the Bund, citing unsanctioned activities in West Berlin. Confused again, the Bund claimed there were no such activities, to which the staffman said it was not his decision to terminate, and that this was final. Certain in their innocence, the Bund embarked on their own investigation, in the process uncovering a sinister conspiracy. The West Berlin police sloppily framed the Bund. They took this information to the embassy, blackmailed them, and forced them to rescind their endorsement. Afterwards, both East and West flung slander at the Jews, exploiting the attack planned by the Zoll. But shit had not yet even begun to get real. All this was coordinated to discredit the Bund and isolate it politically. It came as no surprise then that just a few hours afterwards, the Western government labeled the Bund a terrorist group. No trial, no appeal, no justification. Truly the hand that slaps the baboon mask comes from the baboon itself. This is their regime. A Jew locked in prison, forced to stare at the fruit of Europe, a faggot dressed in drag. We escaped the communist frying pan to jump into Nazi fire, and if that wasn't enough, they took our friends and propped up assimilation and apostasy. And the truth is, they're all working together. Despite their outward appearances, their clashes and battles, and choice of idols, there's no difference between an Eastern and a Western infidel. They attend each other's meetings, visit each other's countries, and worship the same idols. Jihadists, crusaders, Marxists, Americans, all united as one against the Jewish people. In that case, we will burn them up all together.
You have 6 billion idol worshippers who makes God angry every second of their life. And according to the Torah, do not have the right to live. Idol worshipper goy, it's death penalty. Not only Jews, even a goy who bow down to an idol, who believe in JC, deserve death penalty.